Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Caden Games YouTube channel. My name is Caden, and this is the fourth video in the Roblox beginner scripting tutorials series. In the last episode, you learned about data types and variables, and in the episode before that, you learned how to make your first script, print things to the output, and yeah, that's basically it so far. So today, I'm going to be teaching you how to reference objects and change their properties in a script. So let's get started. First of all, let's add a script into script service, which you should remember how to do this. We've done it a couple times. If you just add it like that, and also, I'm just gonna close team create. Okay. I will make a video about team create if you'd like that, by the way. Also, I would just like to say, I'll be replying to every single one of my comments, and that is what I've been doing. So if you do have any questions about the script that we are writing, or you just want to say something, I will reply to you and read all of your comments. So yes, and also if you do see somebody that has put a question in the comments and you know what the possible answer is, try to help them out, and that would be great. Okay, so let's get rid of print hello world, and let's start by going over what we learned last time and put it all together. So what I want you to do is make a variable and put a string, make the variable equal to a string, and then print that variable. And you can pause the video and do that, and I will show you how to, if you did it right, in a second. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video. Now I'm going to show you how you can do it. So right here, you can type local and then put any sort of variable name. I'm just going to zoom in a bit. There we go. So I'm going to put local name equals and then quotation marks for a string. And let's put hello here. And then print name. I forgot to do the right syntax. Print name. There we go. That should be all you need to do. If you did something like that, or maybe different words, then you would have done what I wanted you to do. So good job. Let's just see. And it seems that the output is not open. So make sure you do open that when you try this. Perfect. And run your game with your code that you made and see if it works. If you have any troubles, let me know in the comments and I can help you out. Okay. So that's perfect. That is what we want. So we learned in the very first video how you change properties in this little properties window here. And yeah, that's good. But if you wanted to change a property at a certain time in the game, or if you did something in the game, for example, like stepped on a part, then you would want to do that in a script. So let's try, and I will show you how to do it. If you remember last time, we made a variable which was called, I think, object or something like that. And we did game.workspace.spawn location. So this is actually an object value, as you learned last episode. And that is how you reference something in the game. So you have game as the first level. And then if you go in the game, you're going into workspace. And then you're going to the spawn location. And that's what this variable is saying right here. And if you do notice, there is a decal inside of your spawn location. And we can reference this in a script as well. So let's do .decal, and it does have autofill as well. So that is perfect. Okay, let's just get rid of decal, and that's referencing the spawn location. If we wanted to make a part though, let's try that by going up here. Let's go to home, and there we go. Go to home. And then you're going to press the part button, and that inserts a part into your game. And to scale the part, you can press Command 3, and then jig the little handles, and that can scale the part. So let's just scale it like that, and that's good. Good enough, anyway. Okay, let's learn how to change the properties of this. So, if you do remember, scripts run immediately once the game starts. So, let's try changing one of the properties for this object. So if we type object here, which is referencing our variable, you can change all the properties just like this. So if you see, all of the properties are here in this little autofill section. So let's try changing the transparency first, because that's easier. So transparency is a value or sorry, no, not a value, an int value ranging from 0 to 1. And 1 will be fully transparent and 0 will be not transparent at all. So let's set transparency equal to 0.5, so it'll be half transparent. So yeah, it's an int value from 0 to 1. So if you wanted it to be pretty transparent but not totally transparent, then you could do 0.8 or 0.9. If you wanted it to be just barely transparent, if you're trying to make maybe like glass or something, you can do that by setting this to probably 0.1 or 0.2. You can mess around with that as much as you want. And to set a property of an object, you can simply just use the equals and set it to something just like a variable, but you're setting the property equal to a value. So that is the syntax for that. And let's just try doing one more thing. Let's do object.canCollide, just like last video, I think. Let's do canCollide. Oh, and actually, I just realized we're still referencing spawn location up here. So you can change this to part. There we go. And that's not a great name for it, but that's okay. Okay. So the canCollide property is saying whether or not the player is going to run into the object or be able to walk through it. So if you had a wall, you're going to want canCollide to be true so that the player can collide with the wall and not be able to walk through it. If canCollide was false, for a wall, the player would just be able to walk straight through the wall and there would kind of be no point of it. So the variable, or the value for this needs to be a, what is it called? Sorry. canCollide is a Boolean value, or a bool value. So right here, let's do, so it's a bool value, and then, so it's true or false. Perfect. So let's set this to false, just so we can see an actual difference. And one more property that we might want to change, which you probably would want to just do in the actual properties menu here, but let's try in a script, is the anchored property, which this is also a bool value, and of course it can be true or false. So anchored is basically saying if it has any physics. So if you wanted the part to fall out of the sky and be able to be pushed around by the player, or pushed over if it's like a wall, then you'd set anchored to false. If you have a part that's in the middle of the air, you're going to want anchored to be equal to true so that it does not fall out of the sky. So let's set anchored to true, and great. Okay, let's run the game now and see all of our properties be changed. Okay, actually, I will be teaching you how you can make the parts color change and material change, or actually material I'll probably do in this video, but color and position and size are different values and stuff, so I will be teaching you that in a future tutorial. So as you can see, half transparent, and you can also walk through the part, which is perfect, what we wanted. See, half transparent, and I can walk through it. That's perfect. And also something you can do is you can adjust the properties in this properties window right above, or wherever you have it on your screen, in real time when you're in the game, which is actually a pretty useful thing. So if we go down here to my part, and then we set the transparency, as you can see it's 0.5, let's set it to 0, and see it updates immediately in the game. And if we changed the canCollide property to false, or I mean true, sorry, we can actually step on the part now and we don't go through it. But if we change this to false, we immediately fall through the part. So that is what you can do if you need to test something. For example, if you have a script where it checks if the value changes, then it does something. You could test in the game using that property window to see if it works. So that is how you change the basic properties of the part. If you wanted to change, what's another useful property? Okay, wait, let's try something here. If you do remember, there was a video that I did about the wait at the very beginning, or the second video, I think, I taught you how to wait a couple seconds. So let's try something. Wait 10. And if we do up here, we'll set the properties to, okay. So you've got your can collide, you've got your anchored, and so let's set anchor to true. Let's do can collide to true. Let's set the transparency to 0. And then let's wait 15 seconds. And then let's paste all of these again. And oops, that is not what we wanted. Let's try that again, actually. Maybe just easier to do like that. That is not how you're supposed to do a wait. Okay, so like that. And then let's try pasting in these properties again. And let's change anchor to false, can collide to false, and transparency to 0.5. So it should fall out of the sky after 15 seconds. And actually, let's put this part a little closer to the spawn and lift it up in the air a bit. And that will work. Like, just like that is fine. And okay, so if we press run here, then that way we don't actually spawn into the game. We can watch what happens. So if you watch this part for 15 seconds, all of the different properties are going to change. By the way, with this run view, you can move your camera around. You can move parts and stuff. Like if I grab onto this spawn, you can move it. But let's see what happens in 15. There you go. See? It falls to the ground. The transparency changes. And the can collide property also does change. I mean, it'd be hard to see that when you're running the game, but if you're actually in the game, you'd be able to walk through the part now. So that is perfect. That is one thing you can do with that. And yeah, so next video, we will be going over arithmetic, so which is math in Roblox, which it is a lot better than you think it is. It's not too difficult. But let's try changing the color of the object. I did say earlier that we weren't going to go over that, but we'll briefly go over it in this video because there's not a whole lot else to talk about. Okay, so you have the object variable at the top here. To change a color, let's do it the same as we do before. So you can do color, object.color equals, and here is what you need to do. So a color, you can change the part's color in multiple ways. If you find this part in the actual workspace here in the Explorer, if you type color, there are two different properties. You've got the color property, which is these 3 numbers. We've also got the brick color property. So let's see how to change those 3 numbers. To change that is a data type, I guess, called color3. So let's do color3, and the syntax for this is going to be different from what you're used to. Let's do .new, or sorry, not .new, from RGB. So, what is from RGB? If you see here, you've got 3 numbers. Actually, let's close the script so we can see it changing. So you've got these 3 numbers. You've got your red value, you've got your green value, and you've got your blue value. And these all go up to 255. So if we do 255, 0, 0, that's going to be totally red. Perfect. And what you can do is also mix up these numbers, but let's try green now. Fully green would be 255 green. Perfect. And if you do 0, 0, 255, that's totally blue. And you can mix these numbers, so if you do 0, 0, 0, that's going to be black, obviously. And if you do 255, 255, 255, that's going to be white. And that is basically what a color 3 value is. And this brick color are basically preset colors by Roblox. And it's a little bit easier to do them in the code, but you can get more precise colors if you use color 3. So color 3.fromRGB is basically saying from those red, green, blue values, you can put these right in here as int values with commas in between. So there's 3 arguments. You've got the red argument, the green RGB, and then you've got the blue. So, And there needs to be commas in between these. So it would be something like this. Actually, you can put a space, but a lot of people don't because it's a little faster to type. But for now, we will. So there you go. You got the two commas in there. So if we set this to fully red, just like this outline thing that we made here, that's how you would do it with the dot from RGB property of color 3, which is what we're setting the color property to. So you cannot put a comma here at the end of the arguments list. So these are called arguments here, and there's lots of different functions in Roblox that ask for multiple arguments. And just know that you need to have commas in between each argument, but you cannot have a comma at the end of the argument list. So that is the arguments a little bit broken down, easier to see. So that is basically how you do that. I'm just going to label these to make it a little bit easier. So red, and then down here you've got blue, or green, sorry, RGB. I keep forgetting that, sorry. And then you've got blue. So if you put a comma here at the end, you would get an error because Roblox would be like, oh, where's the fourth argument? And then you would get a nice error. Like even up here, you can see the error that you're going to get. So we don't need another comma there. Let's try setting this to 25500, which if you remember, that's fully red, no green, no blue. And this can only go up to 255. So you cannot set it up to 256. That won't work for you. So let's try this. And actually, we'll put a little wait of 3 seconds and then run the game. And if you watch, the color of the part has changed to red. That is what we wanted. So that is how you change the RGB value of the part, sorry. And what you can do is, let's just try one more color here. If we wanted it to be kind of a gray, you can do 50-50-50. And there are websites that you can find the RGB value of colors if you kind of just go to Google and type like light gray RGB value, and you can find them. If I remember, I'll link a website in the description where you can find those. But let's see. And perfect. So that is how you do RGB values. And if you have any questions about those, leave them in the comments. We'll be using them a lot in this series, so it'll get easier for you. The last one that I'm going to go over just very briefly is the brick color, which is another way you can set the color of the part. So let's do object.brick_color, and you set it equal to brick color, which is also another function that you can use. And then if you do, you can either do new or you can do random. So let's set this to brickcolor.new, and if you put quotation marks, here are all of Roblox's pre-made colors. There are a lot of them. Like you got beige, you got or if we type red, you've got lots of different red colors, reddish brown, you've got really red. So these are just the names for the color. So if we do really red, that would work. So that's a little bit easier than doing the RGB values. But again, if you wanted a very, very specific color, you could use the RGB values and it would probably work a little bit better for you. So if you wanted to set that to really red, that would work. And then let's put another wait and do object.color equals color3 dot from RGB. And let's set this equal to, let's see, fully blue. I don't know what I'm saying. There we go. That it would be fully blue. And so after 3 seconds, it should change to that. By the way, you could just do brickcolor.new equals blue. But these are both the different colors, the color properties that you can set. You can do object.color or object.brickcolor. So let's test that. It should go red and then blue. And by the way, it's not anchored, so that's why it falls every time. Okay, so it's red. And now it's blue. That is a very bright blue, or dark blue, but it's very vibrant. Okay, So that is how you set the color of the parts. In this video, we aren't going to go over the size and position properties because those require something called vector3 values, and that can be its own video in itself because it involves coordinates and XYZ and stuff. So that will be its own separate video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and in this video, we learned how to change the properties of transparency equals a number from 1 or 0 to 1. We learned how to set can collide, and that's either true or false. We learned how to set anchored, which is also either true or false. We also learned how to set the color, which is equal to color3 dot from RGB. By the way, there is color3.new. Honestly, I don't really know what that does, but I'm sure you could Google it. I will be teaching you how to use the developer hub soon. But yeah, so color3 dot from RGB and set it to black maybe, like that. And actually, it's a little bit better if you put spaces between your commas, but it won't matter. It'll work either way. And if you see here, you're getting a little thing below right here, and that tells you that it's a color. So that's perfect. And then let's do object dot brick color equals brick color dot new. Baby blue will work. And by the way, that has to be with quotation marks because it is a string. And those are the properties that we went over in this video. And any of these properties, you can change anything with any instance in this window here. You can change all of these with the script, but going over all of them would take forever. These are the main ones that you'll be using in a script though. So thank you guys so much for watching. This script will be in the video description, like always. And make sure you do like and subscribe, as it does help out a lot. And I will be responding to every single one of the comments. So if you do have a question, make sure you do ask it below. This is a Caden Games YouTube video, and thanks so much for watching. See you next time.